In this problem, we are given the value of tangent theta. So tangent theta is 3/4 and theta is lying in the third quadrant. When using this information, we need to find out the value of the remaining trig function. So let's begin. So it's given here that theta lies in the third quadrant. Let's try to understand this first. So here we have the Cartesian plane divided into 4 parts. We're going in the anti-clockwise fashion. We're going to have 4 quadrants. This is the first quadrant. Here the value of theta is between 0 and pi over 2. Then in the second quadrant, we have the theta going from pi over 2 to pi. Then we're going to have the third quadrant where theta value lies between pi and 3 pi over 2. And then finally we have the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, theta lies between 3 pi over 2 and 2 pi. So this is going to continue. Now there's a mnemonic to remember. So we have to consider A, S, T, C. So A means all trig functions are going to be positive. That means whether you consider sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant or cosecant, all of those values are going to be in the first quadrant. That means in the angle, the theta lying between 0 and pi over 2. Coming to the second quadrant, here S represents sine. So since we have sine, we'll also have to consider its reciprocal, which is the cosecant function. Now the second quadrant, when theta is between pi over 2 and pi, so sine and cosecant functions, these two functions are going to be positive and rest are going to be negative. That means cosine, secant, tangent, cotangent, so these 4 trig functions are going to be negative in the second quadrant. Coming to the third quadrant, we have a t here. So t means tangent and reciprocal will be the cotangent function. So in the third quadrant, when theta is between pi and 3 pi over 2, so these two functions are going to be positive, rest are going to be negative. And finally in the fourth quadrant, we have c. So c means we have cosine and its reciprocal is the secant function. So these two functions are going to be positive and the rest are going to be negative. Fine. So let's come to the problem. So here we are given the value of tangent theta. So tangent theta is given as positive 3/4. It's positive because we are in the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, the tangent function is positive. Now that we have the value of tangent theta, we can also define the cotangent function. So cotangent of theta, which is simply the reciprocal of the tangent function. So we have already we have been already provided with the value of tangent theta, which is 3/4. So its reciprocal will be 4/3. Fine, we have obtained the first trig function. Now we'll come to an identity. So we know that whenever we have 1 plus tangent squared theta, so this is equals to secant squared theta, meaning we can use this particular identity to obtain the value of secant theta. So let's do that. So secant squared theta, that will be equals to, we have 1 plus tangent squared theta. So 1 plus, in place of tangent of theta, we have 3/4 all square. So let's solve this. So we get 1 plus 9/16, which will be equals to 25/16. That means secant theta is going to be equals to square root of 25 will be 5, square root of 4, or 16 will be 4. And since we're taking a square root, we're going to have plus or minus 5/4. Now in the third quadrant, we know the secant function is going to be negative. So this can only take one value, which is negative 5/4. Now that we have the value of secant theta, we can also find out the value of cosine theta. So cosine theta, that's going to be equals to the reciprocal of the secant function. So secant function is negative 5/4, so its reciprocal is going to be negative 4/5. Now we have to find out the value of the sine function, the sine theta. We know that tangent of theta, that's equals to, this is the ratio of sine over cosine theta. So when we cross multiply, this is going to give us sine theta equals to tangent of theta times cosine theta. We already have obtained the value of tangent theta, that's given to us, and cosine theta, so we can find out the value of sine theta. So sine theta is going to be equals to the tangent of theta, that's 3/4. This will be multiplied to cosine theta, which is negative 4/5. So here 4 and 4 cancels out, so we're going to get negative 3/5. This is the value of a sine function. Now that we have the value of sine function, we can also find out its reciprocal, which is the cosecant function. So cosecant is 1/sine theta. That means we have negative 5/3. We have now successfully obtained all the remaining 5 trig functions. So cotangent of theta is 4/3. Secant of theta is negative 5 over 4. Cosine of theta is negative 4 over 5. Sine theta is negative 3 over 5. And cosecant of theta is negative 5 over 3.